Good morning, second grade writers. Today we're starting our Unit 5 Module A for writing. So the books that you will be reading about is John Chapman, Planter and Pioneer, as well as Johnny Appleseed in the text collection. So for our writing work for Unit 5 Module A, you're going to use the Google document that's titled Unit 5A Writing Journal that I shared with you individually to type in your responses. So your writing journal will look like this on Google Docs. I went ahead and I typed each one of your names in here and shared it with you. Please let me know if you do not know how to get to this writing journal or how to access it, and I can either email your parents or we can set up a video conference, and I'm more than happy to help you. Okay, so with this new unit, what we're going to be focusing on as writers, right, are enduring understanding. So writers understand that opinions need strong reasons to support them. So we're going to be focusing on opinion writing. Our no's are essential questions. How do writers use reasons to support their opinions on a topic? And our do's are module goals. Our writers will state an opinion and support it with reasons. The vocabulary for lesson 1, wild, means untamed or free, right? So for example, we could find wild animals in the woods and the savannah. So it's any kind of animal that's not kept as a pet. Tangled means knotted, right? If you think about like your shoelaces, if they get tangled up, it's hard to untie. Okay, so our objectives, we have a conventions objective and a writing objective. So for our conventions today, I will be able to use apostrophes in singular possessives. Our writing objective, I will be able to write an opinion piece and supply reasons that support the opinion. Okay, for the convention, so apostrophes and singular possessives. Possessive nouns show ownership and have an apostrophe. To show that one person or thing owns something else, add an apostrophe and the letter S. For example, John's, apostrophe S, trees, apostrophe S, and man's, apostrophe S, are singular, right? That only means one. They're singular possessives. Let's look at our first example. The growth of the country was speedy. The country's growth was speedy. The phrase, the growth of the country, can be rewritten as the country's growth by adding an apostrophe and letter S to the word country to form a possessive singular noun. Second example, the dream of the young man was to plant hundreds of apple trees. The young man's dream was to plant hundreds of apple trees. The apostrophe and the S in the word man's show that the word is a singular possessive in the second sentence. So to practice, let's name and spell a singular possessive. So if you think of an item of clothing, for example, shoes, and if our character's name is Ben, Ben's, apostrophe S, shoes are black. The shoes belong to who? To Ben. And to show that ownership or that possession, we put an apostrophe S. Okay, so in your writing journal, you're going to complete the first conventions lesson. So it'll say lesson 1, apostrophes and singular possessives. So you have to complete the sentences below with singular possessive nouns. Just as an example to show you, number 1, blank dad knew that he loved the outdoors. So I might want to say here, and since it's the beginning of a sentence, I need a capital letter. I might write Johnny's, apostrophe S, dad knew that he loved the outdoors. Okay, and then here you're going to use another name with an apostrophe S. So blank's favorite thing was the way plants grew, so thick and tangled. Okay, so to continue with the writing portion of our lesson, we're going to make connections to support an opinion. An opinion is a belief about a topic that is based on evidence. The writer of the biography we have been reading provides information about why John Chapman is remembered as an important person. Do you believe Chapman was thinking about helping his country, or was planting seeds just something he loved to do? So, elements of a strong opinion include the following: a clear statement of the main topic in the writer's opinion, reasons supported by details, facts, and quotations from a text, a paragraph structure that groups information in a way that makes sense, words and phrases that connect reasons to the writer's opinion, and finally, a strong concluding statement related to the opinion. Make connections to support an opinion. So when writers write an opinion based on a text, they pay attention to the main topic and the details that support the topic. Based on their understanding of text evidence, writers form an opinion. They support their ideas with reasons backed up by facts and quotations. So if we were to look here at the student model, it says, in my opinion, John Chapman helped his country by doing what he loved. I will plant apple trees, he said, hundreds of apple trees. This idea made him feel very happy. John Chapman found a way to help the country grow by planting apple seeds. This was something he enjoyed doing and something that gave people healthy fruit to eat. So if we look at the beginning, we can see that the writer begins with an introduction that states his or her opinion clearly, which is, in my opinion, John Chapman helped his country by doing what he loved. Next, the writer uses a quotation from the text to develop an opinion. Finally, the writer provides a reason to explain his or her opinion. The writer can add other facts and details from the text and make sure that the reasons are strong and clearly connected. Today, we will use the text and illustrations to write an opinion. This opinion will state that the author of John Chapman, Planter and Pioneer, does or does not provide enough text evidence to support the idea that Johnny Appleseed was an important figure in our country's history. So once you have determined or decided your opinion, you can begin writing. Okay, so if we were to take a vote, these are our two choices. The first choice, Johnny Appleseed was an important figure in our country's history. Or Johnny Appleseed was not an important figure in our country's history. You're going to choose one of these to vote for. Okay, so for example, if I decide that yes, I do think Johnny Appleseed was an important figure in our country's history, I might write, I see that new settlers and towns made the United States grow. It was a great time to be alive, the author says. It was an exciting period of history because big changes were taking place in this country. Based on what I've read, I would say that John Chapman was excited about the possibilities and wanted to do something interesting with his life. So writers state their opinions in the first sentence and use strong words to summarize their writing at the end of their opinion. So I'm going to model aloud writing an opinion based on pages 3 to 6 of the text. Johnny Appleseed should always have an important place in history because he did something no one else had done. The author gives reasons that support my thinking. The nation was growing. New towns were being built and settled. John walked for miles planting apple seeds because of all wild plants, he loved apple trees best. Oh, and there we have our vocabulary word, wild. I believe he was important and should be remembered. So for lesson 1 on the Google Doc, you're going to be typing. And on the Google Doc, you'll notice that I highlighted in yellow where you should be typing your responses. So you have to revisit, that means go back to the illustrations on pages 3 to 6 of John Chapman, Planter and Pioneer. And I included them, I'll show them in just a short minute. And they're also included in your writer's journal. So write a paragraph, about 3 to 4 sentences, that explains whether you think there is enough evidence to support the idea that Johnny Appleseed was an important figure. Use reasons and evidence from the text and illustrations to support your answer. So to give you some sentence starters, you're either going to decide yes or no. So you might say, yes, I think there is enough evidence to support the idea that Johnny Appleseed was an important figure. Okay, if you disagree with that, you would say, change this to a different color. You would say, no, I do not think there's enough evidence to support the idea that Johnny Appleseed was an important figure. Okay, but do not stop there. You need to tell me why. Which one do you agree with, right? So these are your two sentence starter possibilities, but then you need to use reasons and evidence from the text. You may also use the illustrations to support your answer. So these two sentences will help you get started depending on your opinion. So the pictures that you're going to go back and look at are the pages, page 3. And you may pause the video, pages 4 and 5. And finally, page 6. So again, you're going to be typing your responses in the writing journal that I shared with you on Google Docs. If you have any questions, please ask me on Google Classroom, or your parents may email me. I'm here all day if you have any questions. Thank you.